Hey there, so today we are going to be looking at adding and subtracting imaginary and complex numbers. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of examples. So working with imaginary and complex numbers is largely like working with variables. So if I have x, let's say 3x, and we're going to add with that 5x, we would get 8x. Similarly, if I have 3i plus 5i, that will be equal to 8i. So when we add or subtract imaginary numbers, we are only adding or subtracting the coefficients. I stays the same the whole time. It's only if you are multiplying or dividing by I that your power of I will change. When we're adding or subtracting, all we're doing is adding or subtracting the numbers in front, which we call the coefficients. If, however, we have a complex number, for instance, let's say 4 minus 6i, this 4 and this 6i are not like terms because they both don't have I. One is a real number, one is an imaginary number. So this right here cannot be simplified, and we call this a complex number. So anytime you have a complex number, in general, this is not going to be simplified further because the real number and the imaginary number are not like terms. I can't combine this 4 and this 6. They have to stay separate. But I can combine two complex numbers together. So for instance, I could have 7 plus 6i, and then we could subtract with it 4 minus 3i. And in this situation, we combine our real numbers together, and then we combine our imaginary numbers together. And we do those separately because essentially all we're doing is combining like terms. So for instance, 7 and 4 are like terms. And so I would have 7 minus 4 because I look in between the parentheses here for what operation we have. So we've got a minus sign in between the parentheses right here. So I'm going to have 7 minus 4 right here. And we know that that's going to give us a 3. I also have 6i and negative 3i. However, I have to be careful here because not only do I have a negative 3i, but I also have a minus sign. So this actually comes out as 6i minus negative 3i. So in this case, I have a double negative. And that doesn't happen on every single problem, but the main thing you've got to be careful about on these problems is keeping track of your negative signs and checking to see when you have a double negative. So 6i minus negative 3i is going to become 6i plus 3i. And that will give us 9i. So if we put these two together, then our final answer will be 3 plus 9i. Now, this is plus because the 9 is positive. If this 9 came out to be negative, then we would have minus right here. But these two together are our final answer when we are combining these two complex numbers.